Peace, 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 family. Check out my view right here. Yeah, officially on the East Coast, you know what I'm saying? A West Coast brother done made it over to the East Coast, you know what I'm saying? A lot of where this black knowledge started. But I just want to give a few minutes to talk about Nuwaupu. First, everything out here called science. Okay? I said I would revamp my channel. I've revamped the channel. You know, I wanted to deal with some more important issues other than dealing with the naysayers of Nuwaupu, the haters of Nuwaupu, the critics of Nuwaupu, who, mind you, were once Nuwaupians themselves. These people know Nuwaupian information, okay? But this is for the critics of Nuwaupu, all right? First of all, I have a question, okay? What is the problem and issue with you Melaninites, so-called black people in America, creating their own way of life? What is the problem with that? What is the problem and issue with you Melaninites creating their own way of life and calling it indigenous and taking it back pre-religion? What I mean by pre-religion, okay, we know the Bible was compiled around 1400 AD, okay? You can go back to the Nicene Council and all of that, okay? We know it went through Greece, Rome, Phoenicia, and all of that stuff, okay? But when I say pre-religion, I'm talking about the so-called pygmy people, the true Eumelanin on this planet, the first people on this planet, okay? The Bantu Niger Congo people on this planet, okay? The original people. These people who were not written in its entirety in history, inclusive of their language, inclusive of their ways of life, inclusive of their civilizations and the knowledge that they put on this planet in regards to what we follow and what we call ancient, under ancient Egypt, under ancient Sudan, under ancient Ethiopia, under ancient South Africa, Zimbabwe, East of Africa, etc. Okay, when you're dealing with Nuwaupu, you know, and there's been a lot of people that's stepped up and said they wanted to debate Grand Kush. I see a lot of these people go around Grand Kush. You understand what I'm saying? Like I've said before, and I'm putting this out there, like I'm challenging brothers, you know, to really step up. You understand what I'm saying? I'm challenging brothers to really step up. When you're dealing with Nuwaupu, it is what it says it is. You know, why add to it and why take away from it? Nuwaupu is sound right reasoning, okay? Now, if you go look at any type of scientific works under other Eumelaninite organizations, they don't have a definition other than religion. They don't have a breakdown other than religion about what their science is about, okay? Nuwaupu is sound right reasoning, right knowledge, right wisdom, and right overstanding, okay? So that in itself should let you know what Nuwaupu is dealing with, because Nuwaupu is dealing with correct information. Now, what I do see is that a lot of you Melaninites mainly males, have a problem with the man, Dr. York. Okay. You have to separate Nuwaupu from Dr. York. Okay, Dr. York is the master teacher. I will stand behind that because I do feel like, and I do know, as far as these teachers out here, Dr. York has pushed it the furthest as far as creativity, imagination, as far as bringing just a gang of different subject matters to learn and research other than just religion. Okay, people think Dr. York is dealing with just religion. He's not dealing with just religion. Basically, Nuwaupu is telling you to be who you are and don't be nothing else. Okay, you basically don't even need all the information that Dr. York came with. Dr. York came with so much information that it would take, at base, at least 10 years to get a sound footing in what Nuwaupu was relaying. Okay, I've been over 25 years deep in Nuwaupu. Okay, when I first started studying Nuwaupu, I mean, it was heavy. It was heavy for me. So this is how I studied. It didn't matter if I was reading a $5 scroll, a $10 scroll, a $25 scroll, a $20. It didn't matter. What I did have was his book, whatever book I was reading at the time, the Bible, a concordance, the Quran, a thesaurus, and a dictionary. Okay. Now, depending on what type of book I was reading, I might let's set the record straight. Then also, I would have my Black Laws dictionary along with the rest of the books. Okay. Now, for me, because I'm an old head, this is how we were taught to study. Okay. So if you're dealing with new Nuwaupians, they may not follow that pattern. Okay. But some of the old Nuwaupians, and what I mean by old Nuwaupians, if you were in Nuwaupu from 1990 on up, then this is basically how you study. Okay, I would say those Nuwaupians, aside for those who fell off and couldn't handle it, and that's also written in the scrolls. It's not for everybody, okay? But that doesn't mean that you critique and you put down the black people, the Melaninites, who are living this way of life, okay? Because I would say, when it comes down to it, as far as being pious, as far as being saintly and orderful, or at least trying to be that way, then the Nuwaupian is the strongest out here as far as a religious person. Pause, let me deal with my kids right quick. My apologies, I got off track, but okay. The Nuwaupians are, to me, the most saintly out there, because Nuwaupians are, in essence, hardcore Christians, hardcore Muslims, and hardcore Hebrews. Okay, when you're dealing with a real Nuwaupian that's really studying Dr. York shit, then you're talking to a Hebrew, a Christian, a Muslim at its heights, because that's what Nuwaupu is, and that's what Nuwaupians went through. Nuwaupians were hardcore Christians. You know, there was a time we listened to straight Christian music, hardcore Islamic, when the house was filled with Islamism. And what I mean by Islamism in this regard is that it was just a school, okay? We dealt with hardcore Islam, hardcore Hebrewism. That's why he wrote the books, Christism, Mosesism, and Mohammedism. Okay, these are schools. And if you go get those books, Those 3 books right there. Christism, Muhammedism, and Mosesism, the degrees, they're 3 black books. They probably over 800 to 900 pages deep. You know what I'm saying? Then if you can read those books and still claim to be a Christian and a Muslim and a Hebrew Israelite, then you are under the spell. Because in those books right there, he lets you know where it all came from. Those 3 books, the Holy Tablets, set the record straight. What is Nuwaupu? I mean, it's a gang of books. You understand what I'm saying? Me personally, I just think people want to do their own thing. They don't want to give respect to the brother that came out with the most information. Like they didn't want to give respect to Michael Jordan. There's just haters out there, you understand what I'm saying? But for the diligent, for the black people that's really tired of nigga-isms, for black people that's tired of dealing with the bullshit, you know what I'm saying? For black people who really want to know who they are, you understand what I'm saying? Because if you try to take it back to ancient Egypt, okay, can you really follow the lifestyle of an ancient Egyptian back in 10,000 BC? No, you can't. Okay, so you're gonna spend your whole time, your whole life, trying to decipher the Melaninites, trying to decipher the walls of Egypt and try to imagine by way of what the white people tell you and what other black people tell you, their bits and pieces of what the ancient Egyptians did. You're gonna try to live that lifestyle and you can't, because not more than 15 to 20 people fucking speak Melaninites. You understand what I'm saying? It's personal. That's personal. Like Nuwaupu is personal. You understand? So it's ignorant to me for, people out here talking about they are solely really like ancient Egyptians. Like, come on, bro. Come on, sis. How? Okay, you take on an Egyptian name, all of that stuff, and that's cool. Well, what it really is, the lifestyle of an ancient Egyptian, from getting up in the morning time to going to sleep, to what he ate, to what she ate, to how they served in the kingdoms and things of that nature. Are you really living that? No, that's not Nuwaupu is. Nuwaupu is for today. Nuwaupu is for today. But it's covering everything. You understand what I'm saying? You got to live for today. Nuwaupians have their own guard. Nuwaupians have their own everything. Okay, what organization? I want to see an organization right now that's got their own books, their own guard. Now this is back in the day. I don't know what's cracking now. Toothpaste, deodorant, oils, children's books, DVDs, CDs, music, language, flags, political instruments, indigenous instruments, dealing with the Native American issue. What organization is doing this? No organization is doing it. You know what I'm saying? In order to be a Nuwaupian, I'm gonna tell you like this. If you a nigga that came out of the hood, and a lot of niggas didn't come out of the hood, a lot of niggas came out of the suburbs. You know what I'm saying? But growing up, you gotta have heart. You understand? No matter if you gang banging, you on the streets, you a thug, you true to something, you true to a clique or whatever it is. If you down for your homies and you down for your boys, growing up, you gotta have heart. You gotta be willing to stand up. You gotta be willing to speak up for it. And if anything, you gotta be willing to defend it. It's the same thing with Nuwaupu. So, not to take away from the immense power of Nuwaupu, but if Nuwaupu was a gang, a lot of people just don't want to join that gang. You understand what I'm saying? And you got to defend it. And Nuwaupu doesn't need defense. It just needs black brothers and sisters to read the information. So with that, Nuwaupu versus everything. I say there is no everything. I say there is Nuwaupu. Okay, this is the time for Nuwaupu. This is the time for 9 knowledge. 9 knowledge is the key. And if you understood it, you know why. Don't follow these niggas out here, these charlatans and these fake niggas out here that's critiquing Nuwaupu. That's a problem with black people. We like to follow and not lead. I say, hey, put the books in your hand. Get as much information as you can to grow yourself as a powerful being on this planet, and do what you got to do. Each one teach one to reach one, man. You know what I'm saying? It shouldn't be no hate out here. But, hey, when they come to Grand Kush and they debate Nuwaupu, you will see how powerful Nuwaupu is, because you're not going to back me up against no wall and shake me. You'll get shooken. And that's what I study for, to shake any 6 ether being out here, any death being out here, 3 ether being out here, you Melanite devil out here. There's no way you're going to shake a 9 brain in its full capacity. You understand what I'm saying? And Grand Kush is definitely at full capacity. Holla, Grand Kush. Think 9 knowledge, the infamous Nubi Kings, doing our thing, staying on 9, and keep in your mind on the Most High. Take care.